Okay, so we will start with the deck cargo. Okay, deck cargo. A large variety of goods because of their inherent properties like length, height, weight, etc. may be carried on deck. So on deck means an uncovered space and includes deck houses having doors which can be continuously open except in heavy weather. Deck houses and mast houses may be considered suitable for either on or under deck stowage depending on their structure and closing arrangement. Pero normally kasi ang ating mga mast houses and deck houses, there are no space there because it is used for our um, equipments and it is used for stores, no? Okay, bills of lading for cargo carried on deck must be closed accordingly and suitable provision made for the securing of the cargo. It is prudent for the master to check the bill of lading to establish under which cargo convention the goods are being carried. So you need to check the bill of lading. But the bill of lading, we will study that in topic number 7. So I will not discuss that here. Okay, when planning a deck cargo, the following points need consideration. The weight of individual pieces and the total weight of the cargo, its location and distribution on the deck. Because this, as you can see here, these are lugs, no? But these are not heavy lugs. And these are actually floaters. I have experience with loading this in Prince Rupert in Canada, and it is coming from the river. From the river, they will carry it on deck.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So what is this thing at the side? The round something?
This one?
Yes, sir.
These are the stanchion post. No, this is normally for lug ship. And then
Okay.
this one can be folded down, except the one in the middle on in brown in maroon
The
color.
beam.
Yes,
Okay.
no, this is also a stanchion post, but it is fixed. And the other one, the gray in color, these are collapsible. So you can collapse this so that it will not disturb if you are going to carry bulk cargos. So this is only put in place during loading of logs or timber to
So
support
what's
the.
the name, please, sir? The name of the thing?
This is stanchion posts.
Okay,
Stanchion.
stanch.
Okay. So later I will put in our group chat because I do not have here na stanchion post.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So as you can see, during my experience in Canada, this is carried from the water and then going on deck, no? And we carried more because we are near this crane. So it is very easy to go to the crane because we are just passing through the cargo and then go to the crane. So a little bit lower than the crane, but you can climb easily. Unlike this one, no? This one you will still climb the crane from the lowest part, from the deck. Probably you cannot. It is dangerous to climb from this ladder. Maybe this one has distance, no? Maybe 1 meter or something. But that time we can pass through here, and there is an opening. If you can see this one, this is a watertight door. Below the operator's cabin, there is a watertight door there, so you can enter there and operate the cranes. It is easier. Also for greasing the wires, it is also easier because even some people can help you in greasing the wires. Unlike for this example, the cargo is very low, then you cannot do greasing, but you need to climb. But that time, our cargo is a little bit below this crane, so it is very easy to climb for greasing the wires. And I have also experience in what I was telling you, that I have been in a punton. That vessel is only 2 cargo holds, but we also carried lugs. That is also designed for, um, that can be also a lug ship. So, and then it is also a general cargo ship. So that time, we were able to carry lugs from Equatorial Guinea, no, in Africa, in Bata, no, in Bata, Equatorial Guinea. We carried the lugs there, very heavy lugs, and they are sinker meaning they will sink on the water, in the water they will sink. Unlike this one, this is a floater. So those are very big, very large lugs, and the heaviest is 23.5 tons. So imagine how heavy. It cannot be lifted by our single swinging boom. If you are going to use only one, because our single swinging boom is only 15 tonners. And that's why carrying that on board is you need to use two. And you must put that in the middle, because it is very heavy. Maybe there will be imbalance in the weights. That was my first time seeing a wood that will sink in the water, no? Because of course, all my life I know that wood should be floating, but there are wood that can sink, can sink in the water. So they are called sinker. Okay, while deck cargo is usually carried at shipper's risk, liability for loss of or damage may rest with the ship in certain circumstances. For example, if due diligence and practical measures are not observed in securing and preserving the cargo, or the stowage is negligent or improper, such as overstowing, weak packages, and heavier goods. So I remember now we have, but that one maybe they lied in their what do you call this one, logbook, no, because that vessel smaller than us, only 3 cargo holds, carrying also lugs from Prince Rupert in Canada. And they went out first because we are still loading. And then they came back. Those stanchion posts that are collapsible, some of them are damaged, broken, no? So you imagine how strong the sea, and including the weight of the lugs. And because the reason is they were not able to tighten the lashing, because that is needed. There is a need to tighten those lashings at least once, or you can do it twice a day. So probably because of bad weather, they were not able to tighten them. So if that will be loosened, then there is movement. That movement will become stronger and stronger until your lashing will give way, or your lashing will break, or even the stanchion, which is a very large metal, also were destroyed because of that. But luckily, they were able to come back to Prince Rupert listing. They are listing because of the distribution of the cargo. Some of the cargo fell already, but some of the cargo were still on deck. But they are listing in a very large angle, but they were able to come back. So they just let the weather settles, and then they went back, but they need to discharge the cargo on deck. So only those inside the cargo hold that they have delivered to Japan. So very dangerous also, no? And of course, there is a danger if I may come back so that you will understand. Wait. So you see, there is also a danger of collapsing. Let's say this one were not evenly distributed and there is a gap inside that was not present, and then nobody has observed that. Okay, P&I clubs. So these are the protection and indemnity clubs, which are your insurance. Okay, so P&I clubs have recently reported an increase in deck cargo shifting in heavy weather. As you can see, no, if there is a shifting, especially in your deck cargo, then there is a danger of um, your lashing will be broken, and including those securing devices such as the stanchion post. So PNI clubs have recently reported an increase in deck cargo shifting in heavy weather, primarily due to non-compliance with the ship's cargo securing manual and or the Code of Safe Practice for Cargo Stowage and Securing, which is the CSS code. So we have a copy of that on board, and you need to check and read also. As a consequence, it has been recommended that a marine warranty surveyor is appointed to supervise loadouts of high-risk projects by providing independent technical review and approval of all operations from planning onward. So, um, they can assign, no? Or they can recommend a surveyor, um, or they can appoint a surveyor to supervise loadouts of high-risk projects. And I have an experience regarding loading of steel coil. There is also what you call a supercargo, no? He's the one supervising the loading, including the securing of the steel coil that we are loading from Japan, normally from Japan and going to the US, no? And there are also some parts that you can load this cargo, and there is no problem with chief mate regarding securing. That's why it is better to send or appoint a supercargo. And those supercargo are sometimes they are also master of vessels, retired master, no? But they are very experienced, and you will learn also from them. But they are still strong because they are old, but they are still going inside the cargo to supervise and to check the stevedore's work. So remember that one, supercargo, no? Although it is not in my exam, but that is only for a good information for you.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, like what type of cargo can you regard as a super cargo?
No, supercargo is a person. No, this is not a cargo. So do not misinterpret. Supercargo is a person. That is what you call a person that will supervise the loading and securing of the cargo. And loading, of course, there is a need to supervise, especially the securing. No, supercargo is not a cargo. That is a person. No? So remember that, no. And
Okay, sir.
we call him super. Crew are already calling him super. Si super. Super is calling you. Chief, super is calling you. So who is super? Superman. Supercargo. Huh? Okay, for further deficiencies that have been noted include the lack of sufficient and suitable damage between wheels or tracks of vessels and steel decks. So those are they observed that there is a deficiency, no, regarding that one. In carrying general cargo, you must put dunnage. So these are pieces of wood that you will put there, so that in case of moisture, water will not touch your cargo. It will flow to the cargo hold bilge. So that is the purpose of dunnage. No? But anyway, we will also tackle that on the end of this lesson. Okay, so containers stuffed with unsecured or improperly secured heavy items, and the stowage of heavy containers on top of lighter containers. So those are the deficiencies. Because if you are going to put a container on top of a lighter container, there is a tendency that that container will be damaged, especially if that is a very heavy container. Okay, dangerous goods carried on deck must comply with the IMDG code in all respects and can be conveniently handled should the necessity arise to jettison that cargo. Containers laden with dangerous goods that could require jettisoning in extreme circumstances should be stowed at deck level so that access to them is clear and doors or other fastenings can be opened readily. But we are not going to study about dangerous goods. However, I will explain to you what is jettison. So, jettison means throwing your cargo overboard because of certain reasons. Like for example, you need to throw this cargo because it is very heavy and it is causing a large list in your vessel, then there is a need to jettison that cargo. No, I learned this in during my college days, no, long time ago, but I have never experienced that one. Of course, as much as possible, you will not jettison anything. But in case of emergency and it is needed, then you need to jettison. For example, also that cargo, they misdeclared it as not dangerous, but actually it is already causing danger. Chemicals, for example, dangerous chemicals that then it will cause maybe it will cause danger to your life on board, to all of you. So what you will do is wear a proper PPE. For example, you can wear your what do you call this one, the breathing apparatus, and then operate the cranes and throw that on board. That is jettison. No? If you have enough reason to do that, you can do that. Okay, so deck cargo. Deck cargo must be stowed so that it does not obstruct access to the steering gear, life-saving or firefighting equipment, sounding pipes, pilot ladder access, etc. Additionally, properly constructed and protected means of access for safe movement about the ship must be provided for the crew over and through deck cargo. So the stevedores will make ladders, no, that you can anyone can go down. For example, the lug ships, especially during our time because we have a very high cargo. So going forward, there is a ladder that was made by the stevedores. However, it was damaged by um, waves, strong waves of water, no, splashes, large splashes of waters because it was in the forward part. So when we are going to go alongside, going to the forward part is very difficult because there is no safe access. That's because it was damaged, no. And also for the pilot access, of course, it is covered with lugs. Sometimes there is no um, access, but that was before, no. That's why you need to put also ladder. But today, the design is there is a little space, probably less than 1 meter, maybe 1 yard, no. Probably 1 yard, but I believe it is less than 1 meter, which the pilot can pass. it means that the stanchion post is a little bit inside, not on the sides. As you saw my picture here, it was in the sides. But on the pilot access, normally the pilot access is in between the last cargo hold. For example, that is 5 cargo holds. Between 4 and 5, that is the pilot access. So from that, the stanchion post is a little bit moved inside so that there is an access for the pilot, because that is required by regulations. No? Okay, additional ring bolts and eye plates may be necessary to facilitate the securing of deck cargo. And they should be welded to the deck, bulwarks, coamings, or hatch cover. Pero tandaan nyo yung hatch cover natin, kung hindi siya nakadesign na ganyan, never connect a lashing. But if it is designed for that purpose, then okay lang. And they must be closely spaced, yung mga securing, you know. Okay, chocks or beds on which packages are to rest. So yung beds, that is yung dunnage. Yung chocks ganun din, part of the securing, chocking tawag namin. Or normally called on board as choking. Sinasakal. Kasi yun ang intindi. Ano? Kahit ako nung una, yun din naintindi ko. Pero iba pala yung spelling. No? Okay. So, they should be positioned over beams. And then, particularly heavy items are carried on deck. They should, if possible, be placed so that the heavy part is over an underdeck bulkhead. So, dapat yung heavy part niya, doon mo ilalagay sa sa under that deck, meron siyang bulkhead para matibay. Kasi pwedeng mayupi pagka doon in the middle, tapos walang support. Siyempre, kahit bakal yun, no? Kung mabigat din yung karga din. So, dito pala, bulwark. So, do you remember this? Napag-aralan nyo ba to sa Seamanship 1? Or not yet? Saan to? Basic part din of the vessel, ano? Bulwark. Anyone? So, probably wala pa, no? Hindi pa. So, okay, I will show you what is bulwark. Kaya lang, medyo hindi lang clear, no? Okay, so as you can see this vessel, no? Although this is not a deck cargo, this is actually grains. No, and probably this is barley, no? Kung hindi wheat. Okay, here, no? Makita nyo yung bakal dito sa gilid. Hanggang forward yan, no? From here, the pilot access. Hanggang dito lang sa may pilot access yan. Hanggang forward. That is your bulwark. So, pwede ka mag-welding. Matibay yan. May mga brace yan. At pwede ka mag-welding ng ano dyan, ng yung rings and eye plates, no? For the securing. Although meron na nakakabit. Kung makita nyo, hindi ko na kaya palakihin eh. Meron na siyang nakakabit talaga. Kasi this is designed for carrying lugs. And ito yung sinasabi kong dadaanan ng pilot, no? Pilot access. So if you notice, ito kasi ay tawag doon yung nagkakarga ng troso, lug ship. Bulk carrier siya, pero it is also designed to carry lug ships. Meron siyang collapsible stanchion post or what we call uprights. So yan, tinatayo lang yan kung magkakarga na ng troso. So nakalagay sa gilid yan normally. But here on this part, because of the pilot access, it is moved a little bit inside, no? Kung nakita nyo. So ito, actually itong bakal dito, no? Hindi lang natin makita, but this is also the same as your bulwark, no? Kaya lang hindi ko alam kung yung it is still considered as bulwark kasi ang bulwark should be on the side of the vessel. Kasi instead of bulwark dito, railings na to. Railings ang support of yung dadaanan ng pilot, no? So, dito itatayo yung uprights. Ibig sabihin, pag nagkarga ng troso, puno dito, pero doon sa daanan ng pilot, walang laman. So, makakadaan yung pilot. Because that is also required by law to have a safe passageway for the pilot, no? Required yun by law. So, yun ang bulwark, no? Tandaan nyo? Nakita ba? Makita ba yung bulwark dito? Hindi. Na-recognize nyo ba? Baka meron pa ako ipakita mamaya.
Kita naman.
O, yun. Yung bakal doon sa gilid, no? Kabilaan yan. Port and starboard, no? And then, pero yung ibang bulk carrier, lalo na hindi naman nagkakarga ng troso, instead of that, railings na, diretso. So, ang may bulwark lang, doon lang sa may bandang forward at saka dito sa aft. Pero ito, wala na, puro railings, no? Okay, timber. As laid down in Solas chapter 2-1, timber deck cargo is subject to the provisions of the IMO Code of Safe Practice for Ships Carrying Timber Deck Cargos 1991, where timber is defined as lumber or cants. So cants here is logs which are ripped lengthwise resulting in thick pieces with two opposing parallel flat sides. No? Kumbaga biniyak lang yung troso. So ang tawag na doon, cants. And then yung logs, yung troso mismo, and then yung poles. You have also the pulpwood and other types of timber in loose or package form. So kasi meron yung yung na process na, no? Na process na tapos kinakarga diyan na wood. That is also considered as timber. It does not include wood pulp, no? Pulpwood okay, pero yung wood pulp, that is not considered as a timber cargo, no? Wood pulp or similar cargo. So, probably wood chip. Hindi rin kasama yun, wood chip, no? So, it is carried by wood chip carrier. So, ano bang pagkakaiba nun? Binaliktad lang yun, sir, pulpwood at saka wood pulp. So, okay, dito, no? So, pulpwood, it is a wood as of aspren, hemlock, pine, or spruce used in making pulp for paper. So yung ang kilala ko lang dito na wood is yung pine. Although I've heard about aspren, hemlock, and spruce, but I'm not really familiar with them. Familiar lang ako sa pine because I'm from La Union and I always go in Baguio when I was young. No? So sa Baguio maraming pine tree. That's why, Pero ngayon, pine tree ay binobonsai na tapos ginagawang ornamental plants for your houses, no? Decoration, no? Okay, wood pulp. It is used for a variety of end products that include books, diapers, papers, or paper towels, napkins, newspapers, magazines, maps, and toilet tissue, to name just a few. It means paper products, no? Okay, timber deck cargo is defined as a cargo of timber which is carried on an uncovered part of a freeboard or superstructure deck. Ships that comply with certain construction requirements set out in the International Convention on Load Lines may have a timber load line assigned which may be used when the cargo is stowed and secured in compliance with timber deck cargo. So pagka your vessel is designed for carrying timber, then your plimsoll mark is like this, no? There is an addition load line on the side. No? The normal load line is here on the right, which is the tropical fresh water, tropical, summer, winter, and winter North Atlantic. So of course, your normal load is your summer load line. That is the basis of all computations there, no? So ganun din dito, no? But it is included with letter L. But ganun nga, this is the distinction. Kung carrying logs or carrying timber, so meron siyang additional letter of L, no? And then tropical fresh, and the fresh, tropical, summer, winter, and winter North Atlantic. So you will learn that in your maritime law, no? Okay, so merong sukat yan, so but we will not study it here because that will be redundant, no? You will study that in your maritime law. Okay, prior to loading a timber deck cargo, reference should be made. Okay. Reference should be made to the code which lays down specific requirements for the stability of the ship, as well as the stowage and securing of the cargo. Requirements are also given for the protection and safety of personnel. The actions to be taken during the voyage, including action in case of listing, water ingress, and taking an angle of lull, together with the advice on stowage and lashing for the different types of timber that may be loaded. So do you remember the angle of lull in your seamanship 2? So do you remember yung angle of lull? So that is yung negative ang metacentric height, no? And there is a tendency for the vessel to capsize. No, pwedeng baka bugahan lang yan ng hangin matutumba na, no? Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Let us see. Okay, so ito makita mo diretso, no, hanggang forward hanggang dito. So that is your bulwark, no? Ganun din sa kabila, no? Bulwark, yun. Sa kabila, hindi na masyado makita. Dito, kita na, oh. Bulwark. And then the pilot access is here. Kita mo yun dito? So itong collapsible stanchions, na-move nila, sa design, na-move a little bit inside para merong access dito sa labas. Mga 1 yard lang. Okay, in addition to the precautions mentioned in the previous section, before loading timber on deck, hatch covers and other openings must be securely closed and buttoned down. Air pipes and ventilators protected and examined to ensure that they are effective against the entry of water. Kasi yung ating air pipes, meron yan yung head, tapos yung head, meron yan dun sa loob na yung tinatawag nating yung parang gasket din siya, no? But it is floating. So sometimes it is a ball, sometimes it is also yung parang pitsa na it is a circle but as thick as 1.5 inches, no? So yan, pag pinasok yan ng kasi yung air pipes mo sa taas yung kanyang dinadaanan ng hangin, no? So para pasukin yan ng tubig, kailangan talaga flooded yung yung buong air pipe, no? So kung mangyari, siyempre pag mayroong malaking basyada or shipping of seas, then siyempre malulubog yon. The tendency is yung floater doon sa loob ng air pipe head ay lulutang din, no? So once na lumutang yon, masasarahan niya yung dinadaanan ng yung air vent, no? Or yung air pipe. So pag nasarahan niya, siyempre hindi papasok yung tubig. Kung meron man makapasok, that is minimal and that is negligible, no? So ganun din yung kung fuel oil yan, ganun din yung purpose, meron din. The only difference is meron yung may additional yung fuel oil tank. Ang additional nun ay yung screen for protecting against flames. Na may screen yan na maliliit na nakalagay doon. Kasi kahit na subukan mo kung meron kang screen dyan sa bahay mo na yung ginagamit sa tawag dyan, sa doors, yung screen doors, subukan mo i-ganon yung lighter, no? Hindi tutuloy yung apoy. So, yun ang purpose, no? Hindi papasok yung apoy doon sa loob ng yung fuel oil tank. Okay, the code specifies the maximum height and extent to which the cargo may be loaded, together with the basic principles of constant supervision to ensure a solid stowage is achieved at all stages of loading, thus providing the safe carry. So, pag ganitong barko, ano, kasi in my experience, kahit AB pa ako noon, we carried up to this point, just below the platform, no? Ganyang kataas. And mas maganda yung mataas kasi it is very easy to go inside the crane. Kung mag-operate ka ng crane, because I was AB then, so of course I am also operating the crane. Pag aakyat ka doon, hindi ka naman gagaling sa ilalim, no? Mataas-taas din yan. So, hindi na. Dito na kami sumasampa. Tapos merong watertight door below the operator's cabin. Madali naman buksan yan. Or, hindi na namin hinigpitan yan. Kasi kahit hindi mo higpitan yan, watertight naman yan. Kasi meron siyang rubber seal packing. So, dyan na lang kami nadaan. Ano? At saka, yung mga work to be done on the cranes, madali din. For example, greasing of the crane. So, hindi mo na solo. Kasi normally solo, isang AB, isang crane, no? Ayun, hindi mo na solo because other guys are helping you. Pag mayroon ka madaanan, sinusungkit na nila and they are all on top of the crane. Kasi nga mababa lang, tinatalon lang nila yung troso. Tapos, by using yung pangpintura, no? Na yung mga stick. So yun, nakikipahid na rin sila ng grasa dyan. And dito pala, no? So kung hindi nyo nakita kaninang maigi yung bulwark. So this is your bulwark, no? Ito, mas makita naman siguro dito. No? From this point up to forward. Yan, bulwark yan, no? Sa gilid. So dito yung pilot access, no? This is a fixed stanchion post naman, no? For this type of vessel. This is a bulk carrier, which is considered as flagship also, no? So as you can see, this is fixed, permanent. This is a permanent stanchion post, and all of the other stanchion posts are collapsible. No? So makita nyo dun sa kabila, no? Daming i-maintain pagka ganyan. Because you are painting that also. Siyempre, madaling kalawangin yan. Nagtatrap ng water. Okay, every lashing must pass over the deck cargo sa ibabaw. And be shackled to eye plates attached to the deck stringer plates or other strengthened points. So, dapat yung eye plates, dapat that is welded, not in location which is middle of the metal, no, but it should be there should be in a stringer plate para matibay siya, no, hindi siya kahit mahatakin mo hindi siya mayuyupi. Hindi naman bibigay yung welding niyan, napakalakas yung welding niyan, pero problema mayroon tendency na yung ma-deform yung yung metal plate. Okay, the interval between lashings may vary with particular cargo loaded. So kung kung troso, meron na yan naka-design for that purpose. Nandun na sa loading manual of the vessel, no? Kung saan ka magkakabit ng mga lashing materials. And the lashing materials are prepared prior to loading. Kaya ang daming i-prepare pagka troso sa sasakyan, ano? If wire rope clips are used to make a wire eye not less than 4 should be used at intervals of at least 15 centimeters. The saddle of the clip must be used on the live load part of the wire and the U-bolt on the shortened end part. So, understandable naman nyo to, pero papaliwanag ko sa inyo. Okay, rope clips should be tightened initially so that they visibly penetrate into the wire with subsequent retightening after the lashing has been stressed. Pag napaigpitan na yung lashing, saka mo ipirmi. Okay, so here, dito. Okay. So this is your wire clip. Ganyan talaga ang itsura ng wire clip. And ang pagkakaiba lang, dito meron siyang grip. Dito banda, no? Siyempre drawing lang to, so hindi mo makita, no? Dito, in this part may grip yan. Para hindi siya madulas. Tapos, the correct fitting method should be at least 4. Dito nga 5 eh. At least 4 and 15 centimeters apart, no? And then ganito, yung kanyang clip mismo is on the live load part, yung mahaba, no? And then the U-bolt should be on the shortened part, no? So ganyan. So that is if you know how to do it. Pero kung hindi mo alam, anong gagawin mo? Siyempre hindi ganito. Hindi ganito. This is a wrong method. Pero kung ako naman common sense, ito ang gagawin ko, no, di ba? Para sigurado na may kakagat sa kanilang 5, no? Pero this is also a wrong fitting method. So I will stop here. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for listening. Okay, so I will end this meeting and see you.
Okay po, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Yes, po, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Okay, good.
Thank you, sir. Ingat po.
Okay, likewise, stay safe.